Hello guys, welcome back to Mikos Minis. Today I'm gonna paint one of my personal favorite fantasy creatures, the Orc. So grab your paints, brushes, and let's start.
First off, I started by priming the miniature with Vallejo Gunship Green, sprayed through an airbrush. I made sure to leave some areas with the original purple primer showing, especially in the deepest recesses, to add depth to our model. Next, I applied Vallejo Blue-Gray as the first highlight. Using the airbrush, I focused on reducing the sprayed area compared to the previous layer, creating gradual color variation. For the second highlight, I used Vallejo Mecha Blue-Gray. Again with the airbrush, I carefully reduced the sprayed area even further, concentrating on the raised areas to enhance the contrast. To really make those raised areas pop, I brought in Vallejo White ink. With the airbrush, I applied it sparingly on the most prominent parts of the creature's body, adding that extra touch of brightness. Now let's add some depth to our colors. I mixed Winsor & Newton Ivory Black, Viridian Hue and Phthalo Blue with Mineral Spirit to create a wash consistency. This wash helps blend all the previous colors together for smooth transitions. After letting it dry for about an hour, I removed the excess wash with some cosmetic pads, leaving it only in the deepest recesses for added depth and dimension. It's time to bring some vibrancy into the mix. Using Army Painter Zealot Yellow, I sprayed it over the entire body of our creature with the airbrush. This vibrant green color will really make our miniature stand out on the battlefield. Lastly, let's enhance those shadows. I utilized Army Painter Forest Sprite, spraying it on the lower parts of the body to deepen the shadows and add some extra dimension to our miniature. Now let's focus on the muscles of our wolf. Using Vallejo wood sprayed through the airbrush, I carefully applied it onto the muscles of the wolf. Patience is key here. Focus only on the muscle parts, leaving some purple in the deepest shadows. This will pay off later with some really nice shadows that add depth to our creature. Moving on to the wolf's fur, I used Army Painter Fire Drake. With the airbrush, I sprayed it on the top half of the wolf's body, creating a wonderful fur texture that adds realism to our miniature. To complete the main color scheme of the wolf's fur, I sprayed Army Painta Noble Skin on the wolf's back. This adds depth and richness to the fur, bringing our miniature to life. Now let's introduce some color variation. Using Vallejo Sand Beige, I sprayed it on the very top of the wolf's muscles and on some parts of the face. This adds subtle variations in color, enhancing the realism of our creature. To blend and smooth out our colors while creating deep shadows, I mixed Winsor & Newton burnt sienna with mineral spirit to create a wash consistency. I then painted the entire wolf's body with the wash. After allowing it to dry, I gently wiped away the excess with the cosmetic pad, leaving behind beautiful shadows and depth. Once the wash had completely dried, I went back in with Vallejo Sand Beige to highlight certain elements of the wolf, brightening them up and adding the final touch of detail. I began by applying Army Painta Poppy Red to the tabard. This dark red color serves as an excellent starting point for our highlights and helps to brighten up the overall look of the tabard. Next up, I used Citadel Gore Granta Fur as the main color for all the leather elements on our miniature. This rich, deep color adds a touch of authenticity to the leather. To add texture and highlight the edges of the leather, I dry brushed Vallejo Ochre Brown onto all leather elements. This technique creates a random, worn appearance and highlights the edges beautifully without the need for precise brushwork. Moving on to the bandages, I dry brushed Vallejo Bone White onto these elements. Again, this technique creates a random, worn pattern and highlights the edges, naturally giving our miniature a realistic and weathered look. For a weathered, dusty look on the tabard, I sprayed Dilaroni Peach Pink onto these elements. This provides a good starting point for achieving that worn and weathered appearance. To blend the colors together and add deep shadows to the tabard, I mixed Winsor & Newton cadmium red and phthalo blue with mineral spirit to create a purple oil wash. I then carefully applied this wash to the tabard elements, enhancing the depth and richness of the color. To further enhance the tabard, I sprayed Vallejo Bloody Red onto some raised elements. This adds realistic light reflection and brings a dynamic touch to our miniature. Finally, I mixed Vallejo Bloody Red with Vallejo Sunny Skin Tone and dry brushed it onto the tabard elements. This technique adds edge highlights and creates a weathered, worn appearance, adding the final touches of detail to our miniature.
I have painted already a couple of times some orangey fiery hair. Here's the version for smaller scale miniatures, but for the larger one with more details you will find the link somewhere here, so go and check it out, and here is the rest of the recording.
For the hair, I used Vallejo Scarlet Blood as the main color. This rich hue adds character and intensity to the hair, giving our creature a striking appearance. To add dimension to the hair, I dry brushed Vallejo Hot Orange as the first highlight. This technique helps to bring out texture and detail of the hair strands. For the final highlight on the hair, I used Vallejo Moon Yellow. This lighter tone is applied sparingly to the tips of the hair, adding depth and a touch of brightness. Moving on to the Orc's body, I sprayed Vallejo Bile Green on the most raised parts. This adds contrast and depth to the overall color scheme of our miniature. To quickly add edge highlights to the Orc's face, hands and feet, I dry brushed Vallejo Livery Green. This method saves time, and if you keep your brush dry, won't disturb the previous work. I sprayed Vallejo white ink on the blades to prepare for non-metallic metal effects. Additionally, to save time, I highlighted the saddle using the same method. For the saddle, I used Army Painta Blood Red as the main color. This bold hue adds a touch of drama to the saddle, complementing the overall color scheme. To create the illusion of an old, weathered saddle, I applied a thinned down Modeler's black oil wash. This blends the previous highlights and adds depth to the saddle. Once dry, I added some Vallejo sunny skin tone to the blood red mixture and highlighted the edges for extra details. I sprayed Army Painta Caribbean Ocean on the dark edges of the blades, leaving some white spots for light reflections. This adds depth and interest to the metallic surfaces. To enhance the sharpness of the blades, I dry brushed Vallejo white on the edges. This creates the illusion that the blades are razor sharp and ready for battle. As a finishing touch, I dry brushed Citadel Karak stone on a few of the darkest fur elements of the wolf's body, focusing only on the edges. This adds highlights and depth to the fur texture, bringing our miniature to life.
I hope you have enjoyed this one. If yes, as always, do not forget to like the recording, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and I will see you the next time. Bye bye!